Was The Amazing Spider-Man 2 amazing too? Or was it electric? Or did it suck? Find out in my review. Flip.
Big kids, it's time for your
big review.
What up, big kids? Here's my big review of The Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie, non-spoiler edition. This movie was amazing, but it did have some flaws. Anyway, let me talk about I saw the movie with my fiance Natalie, my buddy Chu, and Josh. We saw it on Thursday night. It's been a busy last couple days. I've been meaning to review it. So yeah, let me review it. So this is the sequel to 2012's The Amazing Spider-Man, starring Andrew Garfield, who I still think is a better Spider-Man than Tobey Maguire. I love Tobey Maguire, but I just think the way he was written in the Sam Raimi movies was just more emo, even before he became emo Peter Parker in Spider-Man 3. Then, like, Peter Parker has problems, and he definitely conveyed that, but yeah, I love how Andrew Garfield is so much more snarky and much more what I think Spider-Man should be in the movies, and Andrew Garfield nails this Spider-Man. I love him, not only as Spider-Man, but as Peter Parker. I think he's a great actor, and I can't wait to see him in more Spider-Man movies. And also one thing I love, and you guys didn't know, him and Emma Stone, who plays Gwen Stacy, are dating in real life. I think, yeah, they're still dating, and at least the time of this video, and they have such a great chemistry. I know some people, including my buddy Sharmus Prime, might find the romance in this movie a little annoying, maybe, but the thing is, I love Mark Webb's movie 500 Days of Summer, which he did before the Amazing Spider-Man movies, and I think that Andrew Garfield and Emma Stone's chemistry is, lack of a better word, amazing. They're so freaking cute. They remind me a lot of how me and my fiance are, just, you know, how adorable they are. I think you can definitely see that they're not really even acting, it's just really them, and I mean, they are just adorable, and I actually love the scenes with them together. I wish they had actually more of it. And now, Jamie Foxx as Electro, he is awesome. He was so creepy nerdy in this movie. I loved it. It was a comb over. And when he's Electro, he had that kind of menacing voice, which is pretty cool. One thing, I love Electro's powers. The Spider-Man Electro scenes were like so electrifying. They were just, wow, the special effects in this movie is probably the best special effects in any Spider-Man movie to date. It's just mind-blowing. By the way, we saw this in 3D, and the 3D is so good in this, especially in the scenes with Spider-Man swinging or Electro, like, you know, shooting electric bolts and everything. It's just amazing. By the way, Electro in this movie, not only, by the way, I'm fine with him not having the traditional blue and green costume. He's more like Ultimate Electro. And some people are saying he looked like Mr. Freeze in the movie, but no, I think he looks more like Dr. Manhattan. There's especially a scene in this movie with some of his powers that totally remind me of Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. I mean, it is like so crazy how it reminded me of that. There was a part in the movie where I was saying to Natalie, it was like, it's like Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen, and she was like, oh, I know, right? And so I know I'm not the only one who think that, so yeah, it's definitely Dr. Manhattan, but his powers were freaking awesome. I thought he was great, and he's the main villain in this movie, because now let's get to the other one. Dane DeHaan, who you might know for Chronicle, he plays Harry Osborn. I love James Franco. James Franco, you're hilarious. You know, like, this is the end, and all these other movies you've been in, like Rise of the Planet of the Apes. But and I don't think James Franco was his fault, but the way his Harry Osborn was written, I think this Harry Osborn was so much more what I wanted from a Harry Osborn. And I'm going to definitely make a spoiler video, because I'll just say this. There's some things that, this is a non-spoiler thing, there's some things that were changed about certain characters, not just Electro being African-American, but other things that other characters, some comic book purists might not like. They definitely changed some things around, but some people you'll have to go with it, and some people they change it to make more sense. But yeah, because Norman Osborn's in this movie, not a bunch, and I'll just say that because I'll talk more in my non-spoiler review more about Norman Osborn. Chris was it Chris Cooper, or yeah, he did a great job as Norman Osborn when he was on there, and then but Dane DeHaan was so great as Harry Osborn, and when he becomes the Green Goblin, which the way they explain the Green Goblin, it's not like it's definitely not exactly Ultimate Green Goblin. It's not exactly 616 Green Goblin. It's kind of a mix, but yeah, he was awesome as Harry Osborn / the Green Goblin. And yeah, I love Sally Field as Aunt May once again. Anytime I saw her, especially in her scenes, I just thought of Forrest Gump's mom. She has a very motherly, because you know Aunt May is pretty much Peter Parker's mom throughout his life, so she definitely was a great motherly figure. Trying to think, Felicia Harding is in this movie, by the way. It's not really a spoiler if you knew the casting, but you don't see any Black Cat. I'll just say that they'll probably set that up for future movie. Oh, Paul Giamatti as Rhino. Rhino's in this. Not that much. I'll just say that. But I'll talk more about that in the spoiler review. But when you do see Rhino, it's pretty awesome. Yeah, so it's not that many villains in this movie. It's like there is 3 villains, but they're not really. There's no team ups. That's the thing that's one thing I'll say, is that the movie advertising says like enemies unite. They kind of do, but there's no like. There's going to be a Sinister Six movie, and I'll just say that the movie definitely sets it up for that. But it's yeah, there's no team ups yet. We'll probably see that in Sinister Six or maybe the Amazing Spider-Man 3. But yeah, there was no real team ups. There kind of was, but not really. That I'll just say that. But anyway, the action scenes were amazing. The humor was hilarious. I loved it. Like I really laughed a lot in a bunch of parts. Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker and Spider-Man. And also there's some other great comedy scenes too. And I really love the romance. There's some really dramatic moments, especially there's a big downer in the movie. I won't say what it is in this video, but it's really big. And if you know the comics, you know what I'm talking about. And anyway, yeah, so with that said, great cast, amazing action scenes. I love the romance, love the humor. There was some parts that dragged a little bit, and I know some movie-going audiences might not like the big downer scene in the moment, but it's true to the comics and everything, and there's some really great hopeful things that happen in the movie, and also some people might not like that this movie sets up, you know, another movie the way it ends. But besides that, I thought the movie was an amazing comic book movie, amazing Spider-Man movie, and I really loved it. I can't wait to see it again. I definitely love seeing it in 3D. With that said, I give Amazing Spider-Man 2 1, 2, 3, 4.5 whips out of 5. So yeah, it wasn't perfect, but it was definitely probably the best Spider-Man, one of the best Spider-Man movies out there. I think Sam Raimi's Spider-Man 2 or even Amazing Spider-Man I mean, those ones I might like a little bit more, but this one I still loved a lot. So yeah, go see it and check out riptheapparel.com for more awesome shirts like this, and check out my website seanxlong.com, check out toynewseye.com and hootser.net. I'm Sean Long. Remember, live long and love life.
Check out
Sean Long,
Jason David Frank, Tommy the Green Ranger.
Oh no, we gotta stop Electro!
I can do anything.
Wait a second, you're not Electro, you're Dr. Manhattan. At least in our movie, he wears pants. Don't want to see no electric dong.